Can start.
Yes, Prabhupada.
Yeah. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnaprasthaya Bhutale Swamini Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnaprasthaya Bhutale Srimati Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Guruvani Charane Vishesh Srimati Krishna Krishna Desh Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gauranga Pralinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So we are reading from the book The Mood and Mission of Srila Prabhupada. Part 17, Organization and Management. Chapter 7, Money, Acquisition, Use and Misuse. And the topic is Books and Income. I was never a beggar for money, but I was writing books and selling. Srila Prabhupada declared. He enjoined his disciples to print books and sell and get rich. His transcendental plot. I have hatched this transcendental plot for getting money by selling my books, and if we stick only to this plan and use our brain for selling books, there will easily be sufficient money. As early as 1967, Srila Prabhupada wrote, if you can organize the sales of my books, then there is no question of scarcity of money. At that time, the only books available were the few volumes that he had brought from India. It was only after a few years that the focus of ISKCON shifted to mass production and distribution of books. Regarding book distribution, Srila Prabhupada stated, if you do this sincerely, it is a fact that Krishna will supply everything else required. It was a theme he repeatedly stressed. The best source of our income should be by accepting contributions from the sympathetic public and selling our own books and literature. If we can organize our Sankirtan movement, there will be no scarcity of money, rest assured. When you have got literature and books, there is no question of poverty in our society. If we have a regular plan of selling books, then there will be no scarcity of money. We shall be able to maintain everything with the sales of the books. The temples will be maintained by the books sales. I have always said that if we simply rely on book distribution, all our needs will be met. And factually, book distribution generated unimagined funds. We have got our books sales all over the world, about 20 to 25,000 rupees daily, and we have to spend 7 to 8 lakhs of rupees monthly. In Los Angeles alone, we spend $20,000 per month. In New York, we spend $10,000 per month. It is beyond any dream. We are selling books $60,000 daily. Although Srila Prabhupada offered the extraordinary benediction that anyone who turns his books into money would go back to Godhead. He also cautioned that book selling should not be with a profit motive. There is no question of profit. Distribution is the first consideration. There is no consideration of big profit. Simply we want big number distribution. Distributing books with such an attitude invokes the grace of Krishna. As far as our Krishna consciousness movement is concerned, we are getting money naturally by the grace of God by selling our literatures. This literature is not sold for our sense gratification. To spread this Krishna consciousness movement, we need so many things, and Krishna is there for supplying us the requisite money to advance this mission. In short, book distribution advances the mission in two important ways. It solves the material financial difficulty and makes propaganda. By organizing that major funds for the Mayapur project would come from book distribution in the West, Srila Prabhupada brilliantly enhanced two major preaching projects at once. The idea that every book sold overseas was worth a brick in Mayapur. One book, one brick, bolstered the book distributors' enthusiasm and commitment and helped each one feel part of a coordinated worldwide mission. To this effect, Srila Prabhupada allowed the Radha Damodar Traveling Sankirtan Party to send their book distribution profits directly to construction projects in India rather than through the BBT. He noted in this way they will be encouraged to go on increasing the book distribution more and more, and at the same time, they will be encouraged to send more and more for the construction. Record sales vis-a-vis books. In the 1960s and 70s, music records were tremendously popular, especially with the Western youth. The first vinyl record of Kirtan chanting was made by Srila Prabhupada and his followers in 1966, and subsequently devotees made several more. Most famous was the Hare Krishna Mantra recording promoted by George Harrison. In 1974, devotees discovered that records could be made cheaply and sold for handsome profits, and that they were much easier to sell to the public than books. According, Accordingly, fund collection dramatically increased. At first, Srila Prabhupada cautiously encouraged this, while simultaneously stressing that book distribution is more important. Regarding introducing the records in USA, yes, why not? But do not minimize the book selling. Better if a different party is engaged in record selling so that the book selling may not be affected. Both book selling and record selling are good, but book selling is better than and permanent. Record selling is temporary. More from Srila Prabhupada on how the spiritual benefits of records are temporary, whereas those of books are permanent and solid. Regarding record albums, it is something sentimental. They will purchase here for some time, throw it and purchase another. The book purchased will remain, and once even one line is read, that will benefit the reader. A book sold rather than a record will be a solid sale. The book sales are very increasing. It is a very good news. Thank you. I want this. Record selling is temporary. Even George Harrison's record sales do not continue for a long time, but a book sold becomes a permanent matter for enjoyment. After some time, Srila Prabhupada gave his verdict on this matter. I have considered this matter of record distribution and have decided that it should be immediately stopped. It has simply caused havoc. It should be stopped some it should be stopped everywhere. The stress must be on books. Nothing else needs to be sold. If someone hears a record, he will not understand anything of our philosophy. He will simply enjoy it as sense gratification. But if he gets a book and reads even one page, then he may very likely be induced to take part in our movement. These records are not important. My books are important. You should make arrangement to distribute them in as much quantity as possible. Stop record selling completely. This is my order. Once in Los Angeles, Krishna Kanti Das played for Srila Prabhupada the recording of a devotional song that he had made. He proposed to Srila Prabhupada to mass produce the record so that devotees could generate funds by selling it to the public, as they were already doing by selling incense. Srila Prabhupada replied, "This is all right as long as it doesn't diminish book distribution by even this much." Upon saying this, Srila Prabhupada held up his hand and tightly pinched together his thumb and index finger. After leaving the room, Krishna Kanti never dared bring up that subject again. Later, however, Srila Prabhupada sanctioned make records, Krishna Krishna, with the express purpose of generating funds for prasad distribution in India. Next topic. 4. 50% rules. Giving further warning about the dangers of money, along with a practical scheme of how not to be degraded by it, Srila Prabhupada advised. We recommended that as soon as money accumulates in our Krishna consciousness movement, 50% of it should be invested in printing books and 50% for expenditures, especially in establishing centers all over the world. The managers of the book, the managers of the Krishna consciousness movement should be extremely cautious in regard to this point. Otherwise, money will be the cause of lamentation, illusion, fear, anger, material attachment, material poverty, and unnecessary hard work. Whatever money is collected should be spent for Krishna and not for farthing for sense gratification. Thus, by Srila Prabhupada's expert business arrangement, a large portion of the huge sums generated by mass book distribution were sent to the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust and swiftly disbursed from there also. 50% immediately spent for printing, 50% building, and accordingly no money left over. This policy both protected devotees from the dangers of wealth and effected the rapid spreading of the Krishna consciousness movement. Our Bhaktivedanta book trust, the formula is as soon as you get money, 50% spent for printing and 50% for temple. This is the basic principle of our Bhaktivedanta book trust. No saving. As soon as you have got some money, print books, print books. Don't keep it. If you print books, someday somebody will read. But if we keep money, it creates disturbance. I am therefore always insisting print books, or construct temples. This building, that building. There is no need of keeping money. Tejas Das reported his experience of Srila Prabhupada's insistence that 50% go to the BBT. Srila Prabhupada never changed what he wanted. I have had many conversations with him, all initiated by him, on this subject. In fact, on perhaps half of the 22 visits he made to Delhi while I was there, the first question he would ask me was if I was I continuing to strictly give 50% to the BBT. He left no room for tolerance on the issue, not even 1%. To Srila Prabhupada, there was no leniency for any reason to his desire for 50%. That was his heart. It is absolutely clear to me. Srila Prabhupada said that because he had made this 50% arrangement, Krishna is giving us facility. A similar 50% rule concerned life membership subscriptions. The money received for the life membership fees should be divided into two: 50% for building fund and 50% for my book fund. Also, householders should spend 50% of their income to propagate Krishna consciousness all over the world. Srila Prabhupada was insistent about this. The major portion of our monetary income, not less than 50%, must be spent to carry out the order of Lord Krishna. The process is one of the orders of the Lord, as taught by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and especially if adopted by leading and wealthy persons, had the potency to change the world. In this fallen age of quarrel and dissension, if only the leading and wealthy persons of society agree to spend 50% of their income in the service of the Lord, there is absolute certainty of converting this hell of pandemonium to the transcendental abode of the Lord. It was a point that Srila Prabhupada repeatedly urged. If the leaders and the rich men of the society spend 50% of their accumulated wealth mercifully for the misled mass of people and educate them in God consciousness, the knowledge of the Bhagavatam, certainly the age of Kali will be defeated in its attempt to entrap and victimize the conditioned souls. Elsewhere, Srila Prabhupada made the same play, but in a modified and less insistent manner. Kshatriyas and Vaishyas are especially advised to give in charity at least 50% of their accumulated wealth. And to one disciple he wrote, if you are unable to give 50% of your income, then who is pressing you? It is voluntary. If you have not got any means, then who is exacting you? Similarly, when Tamal Krishna Goswami wrote that householders must donate 50% of their business income, Srila Prabhupada corrected him saying, up to. Shivram Swami commented on this 50% rule. On one side is at least 50% and on the other up to 50%. The amount and how it is calculated may be up for argument. But Srila Prabhupada's expectation that one gives some percentage of income is not. But Srila Prabhupada's expectation that one gives some percentage of income is not. And an objective Vaishnava will see that while Srila Prabhupada was accommodating, he reiterated the 50% formula. Next topic, quick turnover. As an early critique of fiat currency, Srila Prabhupada's general rule was to spend money soon after receiving it. The value of money is decreased all over the world because it is not money, actually, it is paper, cheating. Real money is gold, but they will not allow us to keep gold. The whole policy is vicious. If I purchase gold with 5 lakhs of rupees, then it is real money. And after 5 years, I can sell it 7 lakhs. That they will not allow. Therefore, my policy is that whatever money is there, spend, don't keep. Invest in land and produce food. That is the best use. And instead of keeping money and taking interest, you print books. That is also good. You can sell or you purchase land for producing food. The no money policy. That is the purpose of my Bhaktivedanta Book Trust. 50% must be spent for printing and 50% for building. That's all. No money. Don't keep any account. And we haven't got to keep so many accountants, auditors, and other nonsense unnecessary expenditure. As soon as there is collection, invest the money in some building or in making some book printing. Follow this policy. I am very eager. I have got money here and there, but I want to spend it in this way. So therefore, I am advising take this. We shall invest renovating them and in developing them. Spend money. Don't keep it. Invest in books or land. We don't want to keep cash. We don't want to keep cash. Whatever little money I have got, I don't want to keep in the bank. I want to convert it and purchase paper, print books. Then these rascals will never be able to take anything from us. Whatever money you get, you spend. Spend all money immediately. Don't keep any more money in the bank. Spend it. Follow this policy. As far as possible, don't keep money in the bank. Invest in books and expansion. If you keep money, there will be so much trouble. More words of caution. If we have too much money, then unwise spending enters. You have just enough to get by, and you are therefore having to spend wisely. Storing is not good. Some money may be stored, a few lakhs, for emergency. Otherwise, the principle should be to get money and spend money. The 1970s saw considerable turnover in ISKCON. There was not much money, although much was coming in because it was spent without delay. Keeping large bank balances was neither encouraged nor the norm. Money is not meant for banking, it is meant for spending. Our policy should be to collect millions of dollars or more than that daily and spend it daily. That should be our policy. Every morning we shall be empty handed, get collection of $1 million during the daytime, and by evening it should be all spent. That should be our motto. But because we are pushing on our activities regularly, therefore some money should be saved to meet emergencies. Such voluntary improvement, such voluntary impoverishment is good, for it keeps devotees dependent on Krishna. Our society requires millions of dollars for propaganda work, but Krishna has made us financially poor. I think it is good to remain financially poor because we shall always be able to pray to Krishna, asking his help to execute his service. If suddenly we become very strong financially, Maya may dictate us for sense enjoyment, and we may fall a prey to her tactics. Therefore, to remain poor is one of the qualifications for advancing in Krishna consciousness. Stocking money needlessly is miserly. Better is to spend it practically. You have got money. Why are you a miser? Earn money and spend money. Throughout my whole life, I have done this. Earn money and spend money. I am not a miser. I want to see that things are done very nicely. Never mind, money is spent. Unlimited funds can be spent in Krishna's service. Not only 3,000, but if you give us 3 million rupees or the whole money of the world, you give it to us and we will spend it for Krishna. That is our program. Krishna is unlimited. We can spend unlimited amounts for him and we know how to spend for him. Next topic, integrity. Our philosophy is that we should honestly earn as much as possible and spend it for Krishna. Although Srila Prabhupada stated that diplomacy used for the service of the Lord is a form of devotional service, In one area, he insisted honesty is the best policy, that money contributed for a specific purpose be spent for that purpose, stating, I must be satisfied that the money is properly spent. Srila Prabhupada once corrected certain disciples who had not been very clear in their monetary dealings with him. He specified, the first point is if I send you money for a certain purpose, it must be spent for that purpose. Money for land must be spent for land purchase. If I send money for constructing of a kitchen, it must be spent for that. That will keep it very clear. He wanted financial transparency. An accurate, an accurate account of all monetary dealings must be kept by those involved. Bookkeeping is the most important item. As you are growing in stature, our accounting system should become very perfect. We have to publish now a short statement of accounts. We must submit our audited accounts, and that will convince the public of our stability. The accounts must be kept very clearly, then everyone will be pleased with us. Not a single farthing should be wasted. That will be our credit. And he specially proscribed collecting for food relief but using the fund for other purposes. We can collect a lot of money for ISKCON food relief, but not a single farthing of that money should be used for any other thing. It should all go to our ISKCON food relief fund, nothing else. Why is it that money that has been collected on behalf of ISKCON food relief has not been sent to India? Where is the money? This is not good. If you are not intending to send for food distribution, then do not collect in the name of food relief. Even more adamantly, our occupation must be honest. Everyone should adore our members as honest. If we do something which is deteriorating to the popular sentiments of the public in favor of our movement, that is not good. Somehow or other, we should not become unpopular in the public eye. These dishonest methods must be stopped. It is hampering our reputation all over the world. Money collected for feeding people in India should be collected under the name ISKCON Food Relief, not any other name. And every farthing of that money should be sent to India. Or better yet, buy food grains there and ship them here and we will distribute. But every farthing collected for that purpose must be used for that purpose. When Srila Prabhupada was informed that some large donations by devotees had been acquired by illegal and sinful means, he responded, henceforward, taking money from anyone must be checked. What is the source of the income? We should not accept money if it is earned by sinful sources. Next topic, people more important than money. For Srila Prabhupada, money was always a means and
Bro, can
never an
you
end.
paste that anecdote? Like, we cannot accept money if it is.
Sorry, Puri?
What is where is Prabhupada saying that we should
Okay.
not accept money if it is from
And
sinful sources?
yeah, okay. So reference number is 201. I have to
Okay.
see. Should I check the reference?
Uh, yes, true, if it is possible.
Yeah, parts and
Because once I heard one devotee was saying that we can accept from anyone.
yeah. This is from Secretary Letter, 11th November 1977. Tamal Krishna Goswami, TKG's diary, 5th November 1977.
5th November 1970s.
Yes.
Okay, bro.
Okay. And actually, there are two references. The first one is the Secretary Letter, 11th November 1977.
Okay.
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 Okay. Next topic, people more important than money. For Srila Prabhupada, money was always a means and never an end. Although pragmatically he was much concerned with matters related to money and engaged disciples in bringing money to further the Krishna consciousness movement, the main thing he wanted of them was that they spiritually advance. The spiritual master is not actually happy if the disciple brings him money, but when he sees that a disciple is following the regulative principles and advancing in spiritual life, he is very glad and feels obliged to such an advanced disciple. People were more important than money to Srila Prabhupada. One soul is worth $1 million. Harikesh, Sham Sundar told me that he wanted to make millions of dollars for you so that he could. Srila Prabhupada, yes, and I am thinking when making millions of dollars, he may not be lost. Millions of dollars, what shall I do with? I have got money. I want one soul saved. That is more than millions of dollars. Once upon hearing upon Once upon hearing about some individuals who stole from and left the society, Srila Prabhupada became upset not so much because of the monetary loss, but because of the failure to reform the culprits. We collect money with so much hard labor, but one thing is that the money is not important. If the man goes away taking our money, that is our discredit. The man is more important than the money. We admit everyone to our society, including the cheater, the drug addicted, all qualified. We should take the responsibility to train them. Why has he left? It is our responsibility to train and rectify them. Next topic, on paying devotees. Selflessness is the basis of pure devotional service. As Prahlad Maharaj taught, one who desires some material benefit in exchange for devotional service cannot be your pure devotee. Indeed, he is no better than a merchant who wants profit in exchange for service. Wanting to instill this mood in his disciples, Srila Prabhupada cited the examples of the gopis. It is so nice to work for Krishna without any personal profit. This is Vrindavan. The gopis sacrificed everything for Krishna, their position, their honor, their prestige. So do like that. The sacrificing spirit is the secret and principle of this movement. We do not want anything as personal remuneration because nobody can write up this transcendental transaction. Who will work for material gain? That is the secret of this movement. Every member and worker must learn to sacrifice for God's sake. That is the principle of this movement. The distinction between selflessness and paid service. On the material platform, when a servant serves a master, he is trying to satisfy not the senses of his master, but rather his own senses. The servant would not serve the master if the payment stopped. That means that the servant engages himself in the service of the master just to satisfy his own senses. On the spiritual platform, however, the servitor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead served Krishna without payment, and he continues his service in all conditions. That is the difference between Krishna consciousness and material consciousness. The difference between employment and love for Krishna. If a man is employed, he may always be thinking of his employer. I must get there on time. If he sees me late, he may deduct from my paycheck. This kind of thinking will not do. It is necessary to think of Krishna with love. Bhava mad bhaktaha. In the material world, when the servant thinks of the master, there is no love. He is thinking only of pounds, shillings, and pence, because that kind of thinking will not save us. Krishna requests that one just be his devotee. Salaries inhibit devotion. Suppose I employ somebody, I give $25 per day. The man who is employed thinks, I am not your servant, I am servant of these $25. Similarly, the master thinks, I am giving you $25 because I am exacting some services from you. The service is there, but it is perverted in a different way. That is not real service. When there is question of payment, the service is not good because the payment means he is serving the money. He is not serving the cause. Why salary? Krishna's servant. We are eternal servants. That is the beauty of our institution. We have we have no hired men. Unless one is sincere, why will he work? In short, paid men are after money. They are not after God, and thus paid men are useless. The policy: we don't pay any salary to anyone. Particularly, Srila Prabhupada instructed, our pujaris should never be paid. The teacher and the pujari should never receive a salary. Regarding pujaris, Srila Prabhupada stated, no paid servant can worship the deity with heart and soul. And that pujaris who make a living from puja, gradually their pujas goes to hell. They maintain their family simply by showing the deity. He condemned non-devotees who worship the deity as priests for salaries and stated that they cannot be compared to a person who is purely engaged in preaching Krishna consciousness. Likewise, he was adamant that Krishna Kirtan is not for earning livelihood. As to the practical application of this principle within ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada made his position clear. Any householder devotee who is working full time with his wife as a Sankirtan book distributor of temple managerial duties, artist, cook, etc., shall be provided food, shelter, and other bare minimum necessities by the temple itself. They should not cook their own meals separate from the temple meals. If they have children, then some minimal allowance may be given according to the number of children. If they want anything extra or over and above what the temple president sees and as absolute necessary, then they should work outside. The temple cannot pay for anything beyond the bare necessities. And definitely, the BBT cannot pay any salary to anybody. Our philosophy is simply living and high thinking. Sorry, our philosophy is simple living and high thinking, not sense gratification. The temple presidents and leaders, elder students must show this by example. Temple or ashram means for renunciation and renounced persons. If one is engaged in the self realization process, his material necessities become almost nil. Persons who do not like this can work outside. On another occasion, Srila Prabhupada approved giving some expenditure to grants the devotees who are actually engaged. This did not apply to those without children because they have no expenditure. They are getting free boarding and lodging. Those who have children require a little. But even giving a minimal stipend to grants the pujaris was to be avoided if possible. If we have got brahmachari pujari, why should we maintain a grihastha? When Srila Prabhupada received a report that devotees working with the BBT in Los Angeles were receiving salaries, he became disturbed and iterated his position. Why salary? Where is the question of salary? Where is Vairagya? Renouncement. Renouncement. In all circumstances, the salary process should be stopped. One who wants a salary can work outside. In the name of Vaishnavism, they are drawing a salary, living comfortably, having sense enjoyment. This is not good, not at all. This is exploitation of the society. Several times, qualified Indian men offered to work for ISKCON, but pleaded that they needed some remuneration. In London, when a Mr. Kumar told Srila Prabhupada that he needed something for his mother in India, Srila Prabhupada responded, no, our men work 24 hours a day without a farthing. Similarly, if Mr. Chabdiya wants to send a Sanskrit teacher there, he can teach Ramanuja and he may teach in a class also. I have no objection, but without salary. Our work is honorary. There should be no salary. You, Paramhans Swami, are working without salary. So why should they take? They are not very important men. After this month, arrange for no one to get any salary there. That will be nice. As a concession, Srila Prabhupada allowed that professional Brahmana cooks be hired for mass prasad distribution in India, providing they were clean and followed Vaishnava principles as far as possible. However, he always preferred that devotees cook, for any paid cook is not desirable. Indeed, the hired cooks are most wretched people. Once in Mayapur, a local young man who spoke some English, indicative of his being considerably more educated than most other locals, told Jayapataka Swami that he wanted to join as a full-time devotee, but that he needed a small stipend for his otherwise helpless family. When informed of this, Srila Prabhupada responded, "No hired man," and did not want to discuss further, notwithstanding his often expressed disappointment that so few educated young Indians were joining. ISKCON Mayapur was hiring staff in various departments, but Srila Prabhupada did not want that practicing devotees be paid for serving. Tamal Krishna Goswami summarized the rationale behind this policy. Srila Prabhupada spoke very strongly about our society not existing for the purpose of sense gratification. This was in connection with paying salaries to devotees and supplying special facilities for grihasthas. Prabhupada stressed that Krishna consciousness meant vairagya. One who was not yet interested in developing vairagya could not be maintained by the society. Otherwise, the whole institution would become weakened. If grihasthas were rendering essential service, the temple could provide living facilities, but they had to work voluntarily, not for salaries. Although Srila Prabhupada recognized the value of giving payment in certain circumstances, he explained why, nevertheless, he hesitated to do so. I have no objection to paying you something monthly for doing the Hindi translating work, thereby freeing you to devote your time 100% in this way. But I am hesitating for one reason only, that it is the common understanding for Krishna consciousness or the science of devotional service rendered to Krishna that we shall serve him spontaneously and without any desire for compensation for our service. Our service to Krishna is voluntary, and we are interested only that he shall be pleased, not myself. Therefore, the advanced devotee is ready to serve Krishna under all conditions of difficulty or scarcity. Never mind other things, because he knows in his mind that by giving his full attention and energy to Krishna, that the Supreme Personality of Godhead will not disregard this and make him to suffer. No, Krishna is not like that. If he sees his devotees sincerely and seriously trying to serve him, he is prepared to give his devotees anything and everything to mitigate any suffering conditions. That is mature understanding and realization of Krishna consciousness. Of course, I can understand that you are a married man with wife and children, but so are many of my students. And what will they think if I give you money for your devotional service? But I do not give them any money. They will think it is discrimination. Oh, he is an Indian boy, therefore Prabhupada is giving him some special favor like that. I do not want to set such an example. It is not that I cannot pay you. I am easily able to pay you, and I am willing to pay you in principle. But I do not want to create any example which may be mistaken by other students. Referring to the sacrificing spirit of particularly his Western disciples, Srila Prabhupada praised that they have no demand. These boys are working so hard, they never ask a single paisa from me. I have got hundreds and thousands of servants who I haven't got to pay. This is a spiritual relationship. They are not serving for being paid. The service is out of love, spiritual love, and I am also teaching them without any salary. This is spiritual. Especially in comparing them to followers of others, Srila Prabhupada was proud of the selflessness of his disciples. I am very glad to know that you are all working so hard to double the book distribution this year. Here in Rishikesh, Mahesh Yogi has his headquarters and he is training his disciples, but he has to pay each of them a regular monthly salary and give them vacations as well. So he is not as fortunate as I am. that I have so many sincere disciples that I do not have to pay them any salary, nor do they even ask for any vacation. Instead, they are working twice as hard to double the book distribution. I am so much thankful to all my sincere disciples who are working so hard to fulfill this great mission of Krishna consciousness. An exception was that Srila Prabhupada approved salaries for book distributors. The tendency you report of the householders living at the expense of others in our society is not good. One way to earn money is by selling books. They, the householders, can be given a salary for commission. But if you say that they do not want to do that, yes, they should do some honest work. The householders may sell my books and incense and make some salary to pay rent, take prasad at the temple, and live very happily. However, small salary means minimal, as Tejas Das recalled. Srila Prabhupada used the term meager about any stipend. He also used the term bare minimum and qualified it to be only for householders taking great responsibility, not for just anyone hanging out. When it came to responsibility, he expected morning to night, 7 days a week, no hours or days off ever. Many times I heard him say that Brahman never takes a salary. Pragmatically, Srila Prabhupada approved hiring qualified non-devotees for certain tasks such as accounting and for management. The management must be very first class. If required, we can keep some paid men. Amateur management is not always efficient. So here ends the part 17. Should I start with part 18?
I think we can stop here.
Yes. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, yeah. Unless anyone has any questions or something anyone wants to add. We learned not many things. How Srila Prabhupada was insistent on printing books rather than being focused on money. And also that devotional service should be selfless. Selflessness is the basis of devotional service.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Uh, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, actually, when Prabhuji was reading, Prabhuji mentioned that the funds where is raised, it should be something I heard, but I could not hear it properly. That whatever the funds, whatever the donations they collect, it should be from proper source. Like that, something was. I didn't get that point. Can you, if anyone remember, can you please recollect it and
I think Prabhuji was saying that
Yeah.
the
uh,
funds which are collected from
hmm,
the general mass of people should be like from professions which are not sinful.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. Some sinful professions, Srila Prabhupada was explaining that we should not accept them.
Like gambling and share markets,
Yeah,
from
yeah,
such
exactly.
sources we should not accept the funds, right?
Right, right, right.
Okay,
Or
yes, yes.
meat eating like
Okay,
that.
okay. Okay, okay, okay. But even while collecting donations, also we should be very careful and attentive, so that
Yeah,
should
yeah, yeah.
know that how they are getting this money. That like
Right,
that.
right, right.
Yes. Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Well,
I think Krishna Kesha Prabhu has also joined. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Dhanwar Prabhu. So Prabhuji, yeah, we have completed part 17.
Oh, you're done with 17. So you can start 18.
So should I start today?
today we
Yeah.
can start, or we can start tomorrow too.
Yeah, we can start tomorrow maybe because new session. Or today
Yeah,
we can. Okay, tomorrow we can start.
yes,
We
Prabhu.
can make it short today, and then we can. How many sections are there in part 18?
Oh, wait, let me see.
Just checking in my phone.
Part 18 is very short, Provi. There are only 3 chapters, and it is these are the last chapters.
Um, why this gambling section came into picture? Records, sales, sources.
Huh?
Why this gambling came into?
Okay. There is one section integrity.
Oh,
So
so regard. Hmm,
in that section, Prabhupada mentions that the collection should not be from the illegal and sinful sources, money collection.
okay. So the future of his movement. So it is how many pages around? It starts with 2224 and it completes in 2274. It's around 50 pages. Prabhu. Yes, around 50 pages. So if devotees have something to ask, we can take up the question answers. Maybe. What do you think? Is it okay?
Yes, Prabhu.
Devotees have anything to ask in this?
Uh, yes, bro. The one thing Prabhupada 50% formula has given that
Okay.
money should be spent immediately, 50% in the book distribution, book printing, and 50%
Mm,
in the building.
okay.
So this one still is followed uh, in today's.
Mm, I don't know. I don't know. Maharaj is writing this one, but today what is happening? I don't know. Because these are all very big matters. And this is just what I can say. Maharaj is explaining the principle, but I don't know whether it is done or not. Maybe it is done, I think.
In fact, the section came where it was mentioned about paid pujaris.
Oh, where
Regarding
is it?
Prabhupada
Yes, sir.
was against it.
No, where is it? Where is it mentioned? I want to
Uh,
just see that. Atindri, can you tell me where is it? Where Maharaj is quoted that?
yes, Guruji. It was the last section on paying devotees.
After integrity,
After integrity, there are 2 sections.
pe-
Last one.
people more important than money. That one?
No, the next one.
Oh, and it's written in paying devotees. Hmm. Prabhu, that is there, but actually, this is the principle on which even Maharaj also in Salem, uh, we don't have this particular thing as uh,
Stipend.
pujaari is being paid. Yeah,
Yes.
they're given stipend, but see, the thing is, there are so many factors in this. Devotees need to be taken care of in everything. But okay, I'll regarding this, I'll speak. Speak tomorrow. Maybe. Mm. One principle is that selflessness is important. Another principle is practicality. Previously, nobody was paid, but nowadays, unless and until you are paid, there are no devotees serving.
In Salem, you were saying it's not, we are following this standard,
And
right?
yeah, actually, in Salem, some devotees were paid, then Maharaj told to stop.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and regarding this, I'll speak tomorrow. Okay.
Okay, bro. Yes.
This is very, very important, which we can address it tomorrow. Okay.
Okay, Prabhu. I think we can wind up.
I can wind up. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Thanks.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. Thank you, Akantara Prabhu, for reading.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
was unable to do it. Yeah, I was in the. I was taking, applying for my ID and license. So I came to in federal office. So that's why I was not able to join. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, हिंदुस्तान भक्ति विकास स्वामी महाराज की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्ति की जय, हिंदुस्तान भक्ति विकास स्वामी महाराज की जय, द मोर मिशन श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण।
Krishna.